So joining me today in the studio is Darren Clark from CPC Plumbing. Darren's been working with one of our business accelerators now for a little while. How long have you been working with us, Darren?
Yeah, it should be on about 2 years now.
Two years.
Yep.
Wow, great stuff. And I can see you're starting to do some good things and you get some good direction. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what you do? It's a brief rundown of your business.
Yeah, we're maintenance plumbers based in the Hills District. I've been there for 20 years now. So that's sort of basically in a nutshell what we're about.
Okay, and before you worked with us, what was your business looking like? What sort of prompted you to decide to work with one of our team?
The business, when I look back now on it, it was a mess. At the time, we didn't realise how much of a mess it was in. We were sort of working for people which weren't the best fit for our company, didn't know who we should be working for and who we'd like to work for, where, now we've been able to identify them and go in that direction.
Okay, and when you say that, what do you mean there were certain companies you were working with that you weren't happy working with, or?
Yeah, we sort of, we were working for older builders at the time and they retired and then sort of try and move forward and keep the business going. We ended up taking on builders who really weren't the best fit and sort of made the mistake of that.
Probably a common problem for a lot of businesses.
Probably would be, I guess.
Just taking on whatever they can get.
Yeah.
And how did that affect your business? Was it profitable? Was it not profitable?
No, we could see we were losing money, but where it was that we were losing it, we didn't know about. And so we're having troubles there and we could see that, but just didn't know how to fix it.
Okay. And were you working hard? Were you working a lot of hours trying to make this work?
Yeah, we were doing a lot of hours in the business, taking on people who really weren't right for us, apprentices, and evidently turning over a lot of staff as well at the time.
And so before working with us, what was it that helped you make those decisions? You just did what you thought you had to do, or you're following a system? Or?
Yeah, in a way, sort of being dragged along a bit by other people around us, what you'd hear at the supply shops and all the negativity with that. And so we sort of just were following what we thought was right, but obviously wasn't.
Yeah, okay. And how was your personal life at that point of view? Was your business having much of an impact on you personally?
Yeah, definitely. Not making profits that we would like to. We weren't able to do the things we wanted to do personally. Trying to put kids through school and all that. Yeah, that was very, very difficult.
Bloody kids, eh? They cost us money. They keep costing us forever.
Yeah.
So, when you first sort of came across our services, what was it that motivated you to take that first step?
The first step was a case of we were sort of in dire straits. It was close the business down, or what else can we do? And the coaching sort of presented itself to us, and we thought, well, we'll try this as a last-minute effort to save our business.
It was a last resort?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. And so how quickly was it after sort of coming across MaxMyProfit and the coaching services did you start working with us?
Pretty much straight away. We went straight into coaching with one of your coaches, and straight away he identified areas and got us on the track pretty quickly, or let us know what we needed to do to be on the right track.
Yeah, because I think one of the things a lot of people want is that real quick fix. It's not a quick fix, is it?
No, definitely not.
Yeah. So how long was it before you started to see a return on investment and started seeing some results?
Started seeing results sort of around the 12-month mark. By that time, we were able to identify and put together budgets and that, so we knew where we needed to be, and we were able to then start working towards those budgets and making it all happen.
Yeah, great stuff. Because I think sometimes people think it is going to be a quick fix, but we don't have magic wands here, unfortunately. I wish we did. What do you think was the main catalyst for change for you? What was the clincher? What was it that made you?
I suppose running your own business for me, the idea of failing in that, it was pretty hard to take, and so that was the idea of, rather than close the business up, let's go down coaching and try that and see if that's going to work for us.
Yeah, quite a motivator, isn't it?
It is, very much so.
Yeah, okay. And so 2 years down the track now, what's the business look like today compared to what it looked 2 years ago? Yeah,
so it now looks like we've got 2 apprentices on board, just employed an operations manager who's a senior tradesman as well. Myself, I'm sort of 50-50 in the business as opposed to working on the business, and my wife's in the background. She does all the budgeting and stuff like that. We've been able to identify the customers we want to work for. We're now at the process of finding them. We've got a few on board, but we're still looking for a few more. Yeah, we know where our profits are, where they're coming from, and how to move forward from this point on.
Yeah, okay. And now how has that made a change for you personally now, knowing that you've got a budget and a plan and you're...
Yeah, personally, we're just able to identify things we want to do in the future and know we can make that happen. There's a few promises I've made to my son and stuff when he finishes school, so that's all there, and it's all going to happen in the background.
Yeah, great stuff. So what are the long-term goals now for your business?
The long-term goals, in the next 4 years, I want to be able to put a truck, a tradesman and an apprentice on the road, so one each year for the next 4 years. Build it up to a point where I'm not having to be on the tools at all. and I just drive the marketing side of it, and the other boys can take care of everything else.
Sounds awesome.
What I'm looking for. Yeah.
Sounds awesome. So what are some of the tangible results you've seen? I mean, you said 2 years ago that was either shut the business down or, give it a good hard kick and see if you can get it going.
Mm-hmm.
So back then I'm imagining things were looking pretty dire and grim.
Very much so, yeah.
So what are some of the tangible results? What have you seen happen with your sales and with your profitability?
Sales and profitability, I know now where to look to find more work and the work we want. Our trucks were dead. I'd been flogging them to death for years. We've been able to get new trucks, put on, as I said, an operations manager now. Just having those goals, having goals that the team can see and they can become part of, and just making everybody sort of a team that works together.
Yeah. And have you seen an increase in your sales figures?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
So what sort of a percentage increase have you seen over the last couple
in
of
sales,
years?
it would probably be around about between 50-60% in sales.
Nice. Yeah. And what about profitability? I'm imagining profitability is better now.
Yeah, that's sort of up around 80%.
Nice.
More profit,
Yeah, nice stuff. And what about your working hours? I mean, you mentioned before you're now sort of working 50-50 in the business and on the business. And for a lot of people, working on the business is extremely foreign,
Yeah.
But how are you going with your working hours now? You're working less hours or the same amount of hours but just in different areas? Or?
Yeah, the same amount of hours, but just splitting it now. So I'm actually on the tools about 30 hours a week and working in the business for the other 30. Yeah.
So it's actually working on strategy and
that's right. Yep.
And what difference do you think that has made, being able to get off the tools and actually focus on the business?
We used to have really highs and low peaks. So you'd have a lot of work, and then 2 weeks later you'd have no work, and it's starting to flatten that out now. I'm able to chase the work and get it ready for the boys and the team, so it continues on.
Yeah. And so before you were doing that, was anybody sort of trying to fill that role, or were just
No, it'd be a case of if you didn't have work, you'd just be sitting there waiting for the phone to ring and just sort of sitting around waiting.
Not a good feeling, is it?
No.
Have you found that having a coach, what have you found by having a coach has been the biggest benefit for you?
The biggest benefit, and probably the biggest surprise for me, was it wasn't about my business. It was about me and changing my mindset and how I think about things and get things done. So that to me was the biggest change. And I just feel with that now I'm a lot positive person about the way things are going, and that obviously just continues through to family life and everything else.
Yeah, great stuff. So, And have you found having somebody there to hold you accountable to making sure that you do what you say you're going to do?
Yeah, no, that at first that was really hard and difficult, sort of being told that you're the problem. but now I understand it, and to a point now where if I feel comfortable, I'm in the wrong spot. I've got to get out of my comfort zone to make things happen. And they definitely keep me accountable for that. Yeah,
great lesson.
Yeah.
Great lesson, isn't it? And have you found, I mean, we've also, one of the things that we find a lot of our clients say is they love the community that we've built, and that, we have these quarterly workshops where people can come along and network with their other members. We've got the online community. Do you find that that's a big part of what you enjoy as well?
Yeah. It's good because everybody shares their highs and their lows, which is really great. And it's good to know you're not alone in that situation. So no, I find that a big benefit.
Yeah, great stuff. And have you used any of the tools and resources for that we give you to run your business easier, like things like the forecasting tools or the templates, etc.?
Yeah, no, definitely. My wife being on the budget side of things, she's using all that all the time. I'm bombarded with budgeting and you've got to be here and there at a certain date. But definitely, it's the tools are fantastic.
Yeah, you found them to help save you a lot of time and help you with your business?
Definitely, yeah.
Great stuff. Now, what would you say to somebody who was thinking about coaching? We get a lot of people come to us, and because it's one of those things that's intangible, they can't really see what they're going to get. And of course, there's a lot of people out there doing different types of, whether it's business coaching or business advice or services, a lot of workshops and things. A lot of people are very skeptical and worried about making that step to actually start with somebody. What would you say to somebody that's considering taking on working with us? Yeah,
like if you're considering it, do it, definitely. Even if you're not considering it, do it. Yeah, don't let it get to a point where you need coaching to get yourself out of a problem. You're much better off being on top of it. You develop bad habits without it, and that's what I wish I would have done, is had the coach a lot quicker than we did.
Yeah. Yep. So you feel that if somebody did coaching, they're going to get success much quicker?
Oh, yeah. We've had to unlearn a lot of stuff before we can start learning it again. And, to wipe that out would have been fantastic.
Great stuff. And how long had you been in business before you took on a coach?
18 years.
18 years. Yeah. So in 18 years, you hadn't got to where you wanted to be?
No.
Yeah. So is this the best it's been for you in the 20 years of business?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Yeah, so it's definitely made a huge impact for you guys.
Yeah. No,
all right. Well, Darren, I can't thank you enough, mate, for just sharing your insights with us. And I know know it's going to help a lot of people that are thinking about whether or not coaching's for them. But even if the coaching's not the right thing or getting a help isn't the right thing for them, at least you may inspire them to actually do something about where they're at, because they can change.
No, that's great. No worries.
Thanks, mate.